Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please subscribe. My name is Mike. I recently relocated to Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm not sure if you know, but I just want to specifically mention that one more time, is the idea that I record every single day of my life in audio form. It's like a vlog, but just pure audio. And you can listen to that. It's called Life with Michael on any kind of platform that you're listening to your podcast to. I think we have Amazon podcasts now. We have, of course, Google podcasts. We have Apple podcasts. So Life with Michael, have a look. I would love for you to join my adventures there because I post every single day, literally what I'm doing. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. The links will be down below. Now, as you know, I was in ASQ, alternative state quarantine. I left that behind. I survived 15 nights of quarantine. That was a beautiful, interesting, unique experience that I hope to never ever do again. Again, I made 2 videos on that if you want to see what that was. And I figured that now, roughly a week later, I've survived my first week in Bangkok, and I figured I would give you a little bit of an update as to what I've been doing this week and the adventures that I had. And the first thing, of course, is that the moment I left ASQ is that I moved into this apartment that you can see behind me, and I'll blend that in as well. It's basically an apartment that I kind of blindly booked as I was in ASQ. It's a great space. It's 64 square meters. It really works for me. The pricing also really works for me. The location, I would say I give it a 7 out of 10. The reason why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is just because it's a 10-minute walk from the BTS, which right now still works, but as temperatures and humidity changes, that might become a little bit of a challenge. 10 minutes seems really short, but technically it's quite far. Well, it's not super far, it's 10 minutes, but you know what I mean, right? But ultimately, I really love it. And, because of COVID, I'm able to get a sensational deal. So if you want to know specifically as to where I am, do reach out. I'm happy to share because this building, this community, if you will, these residences are completely empty. I think there's 300 of them and there's less than 20 booked right now. So you not only can get a great deal, but you can be super comfortable. I think it looks really nice, and I'm just settling in, making the space my own, and I'm just feeling really happy. And most important, Wi-Fi is over 300 mbps. So if you work remote or you are dependent on sensational Wi-Fi, that's also here. So fingers crossed it stays that way. I was really excited and happy. And fun fact, a couple years ago, I was visiting Bangkok together with my dad, and we actually stayed in this building. That's why I knew this building, and that's why I reached out at that point during ASQ to this building to see if I could rent it. So it's kind of this full circle moment of me being like, okay, a couple years ago, I might have been staying at this exact same apartment. I can't remember specifically which one we stayed in, but if I had known back then that right now I would be living in this building, I would have been like, whoa, mind blown. But yeah, so that was the first thing I did. I got settled. You can see behind me I also got a spinning bike, as that's what I love to do. So I get set up and I get settled in. One of the next things that I did this week is a little bit random, but I moved to Bangkok. I'm all about entrepreneurship. I want to launch a startup in this city, and one of, I want to say, Southeast Asia's hottest startups, but kind of undercover as well, if I will. It goes under the radar stealth mode, is Flash Coffee. You might be thinking, Mike, what is Flash Coffee? Flash Coffee is a tech-enabled, data-driven coffee chain startup. And I have not one, but I have 2 at the end of my street. And I ventured into my street to figure out where are they located, what is it, and does it live up to the hype? And I spent half a day just kind of exploring and figuring out Flash. I created a whole episode about it. You can again see that or listen to that down below. Because on one side we have this epic branding of like hipster, amazing, all these things. And then the reality is that the branch that I visited was inside a local food hall, all these food stalls, and then one stall literally was Flash Coffee. And I felt kind of disappointed. Similarly with their cup size, yes, the coffee is great. Yes, it's super affordable. It's 50 baht. But then again, you get like half the quantity of what you would normally get somewhere else. So a little bit disappointing there, but it is really exciting. Why is it exciting? Even if you don't get my excitement right now, it is the idea that in probably 2 to 3 years from now, we will see Flash Coffee everywhere in Southeast Asia. I think I read yesterday that currently they're opening up 9 shops a month, I think, and I'm sure that that number will increase. And it's just really cool to see the humble beginnings of something that no doubtably in a few years from now is going to be ginormous. And they also aim to challenge Starbucks in the future. So again, for me, really exciting just to spend half a day looking at how they work, what they do, all these things. Unfortunately, one of the other things that I had to do this week was, deal with my visa issues. I think that that's an ongoing thing for anybody that lives in Bangkok or in Thailand and wants to stay here long term. There's all these kind of options. There's a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of legal ways. There's a lot of shady ways. There's a lot of visa agents that want to scam you. And I have luckily a very reliable, great visa agent, and I ventured into the city to meet with her and visit her at her office and make sure that my visa to be able to stay here long term in Thailand is sorted as much and as long as we possibly can. Also making sure that everything I do is legal and allowed within my visa regulations. And I spent a day with, well, not a day, my God, that would be really long, but I spent some time with her this week just going through my options again, and fast forward to literally today, I picked up my passport, my visa was converted, accepted, or my application was accepted, and I'm really happy. But that was a big thing this week as well. I had to go back twice because I had to take passport photos, all these things. But I think that it's something that you just can't escape when you move to Thailand. And it is so important that you find somebody that is reliable and that you can trust 100%. I've been reaching out to many different visa agents before I came to Thailand. Even during ASQ, I was still messaging with a few, and they just scam you. It's so shady. It's such a shady world if you're not careful. So again, if you would like to know the visa agent that I'm working with, that's super dependable, super reliable, and just amazing, get in touch. She can work miracles. And then the last big thing I did this week, just with regards to my aspirations as to being here in Bangkok and building a business and launching a startup here, is that currently what I'm doing is that I'm reaching out to a ton of people on LinkedIn. And as soon as they connect with me on LinkedIn, I send them a message and I say, hey, look, I just arrived into the city. I finished my ASQ. Who do you think I should have a coffee with to learn more about the Bangkok/Thai startup ecosystem? And one of the people that I got in touch with last week was the GM of True Digital Park. True Digital Park is basically a startup hub, if you will, with a co-work space and all sorts of facilities where entrepreneurs can come and build their business. So I did spend an afternoon there at their offices, and I met with Sarah, who works there, and I got everything explained as to how True Digital Park works, the incubator program that they have, which is quite interesting and something I might consider basing myself there. It is quite far from where I live, but it is really interesting to just see their offices and their space. And I just need to get into a space where I want to surround myself with entrepreneurs and people that are creative and they're building businesses and they're taking ideas and concepts and turn that into something. And True Digital Park might be one of the few spaces in Bangkok that really allows for that. But that was pretty cool because they are a good, important player in the startup ecosystem, and me just in essence being a nobody reaching out and being able to get meetings with them, I thought was really good. And I have a ton of more meetings set up this coming week, next week, and just kind of get myself connected. And then as a side note, together with my Thai co-founder, we are currently exploring a whole bunch of interesting startup ideas, and we're narrowing it down more and more. If you follow along on the podcast, you'll have a really good sense of what we're diving into, which is really exciting. So please check that out as well. But yeah, it is exciting, and I want to continue kind of documenting my journey, what I'm doing. It is kind of, focused towards building a business. That's why I'm here. I am not the YouTuber that will take you around town, sightseeing, all these things. It will have and has a business angle to it. So if that's interesting, if you want to see how I moved to Bangkok pretty much with 2 suitcases and then try to set up, launch, and grow a startup from here, then may I encourage you to subscribe also to this channel. If you're new, give this video a like, and if you have any questions, please in the comments. I hope you just give me your thoughts, and I will be more than happy to answer. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna end today's episode. I just wanted to give you a quick sneak peek as to what my week has been. I'm currently settling in, and I'll see you next week. And again, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. It is every single